Welcome back to the episode of the Cring Collective. I'm talking about the new game that's coming out this summer. Got a chance to play the beta test. They've done another test since this. It was a pretty quick one, and there's one more that's going to happen before they go ahead and launch this thing. They're going to do it for multiple systems, not just PC. So check out the video I did where I said, hey, here's some of the things that this game does right that I like, and but this game is different. This is a different game because we're used to the playground and what 2K has being a very realistic game versus full-on arcade, and this is just something different. So this video is what this game, in my opinion, gets wrong. So put in the comments what you think if you got a chance to play it, or maybe you've been watching videos. What are you looking for in the game? What do you see in this game? And so hit the subscribe button, like, follow, and comment for more. Now, with that being said, here's the meat and potatoes. Okay, $30 for this game. It feels steep. And I mean that with all due respect, love for the devs. I don't know anything about making a game. I know they work hard, but sometimes you can take a game and make it free, and the success is there. You see it all. You could probably hear me in this video mention the term gotcha game, and you watch how much money those games make for just saying, hey, look, this is who we are. This is what it is. Try us. And if you want to spend some money here, spend some money. And that's just what it is. I'm thinking of a Marvel's Avenger game that came out so long ago that people talked about that if the game was free, what would the impact be? And they had some really good weekends when they made it free, but it was too late. That game went ahead and closed up shop. But I think $30 feels like a lot for a game that feels like it has to ride the wave as far as being able to play. Like, I feel like you would have to lean in on the content and the battle pass, and we haven't seen everything in this beta, so maybe it is there. But looking at some of the looping, it just feels like it might be much. And it might be much because it feels like this game, honestly, I'm just being so honest, take it however you want to, it doesn't feel like the game necessarily has a soul or identity. It's not full on NBA Street. It's not NBA Jams, but it's closer to NBA Jams. I want to say if I had to pick two, if I had to pick one side or the other, it's closer to NBA Jams than it is NBA Street. Everyone keeps saying Street, and I don't see the flows of combos. I see the shoving that throws people off that needs to be adjusted. I see the careless of jumping up and down to try to get a block, and it just feels like technically it's not there. It's dunk the ball or shoot it and run back and forth and see who can do it faster. Like, this is just samples of what I was watching. And I watch content creators who play basketball games all the time, and I'm casual and I'm watching what they're doing. I'm like, wow, okay, cool. But it just feels like it just doesn't have, there's something missing. And maybe when the game goes live in the summer, that'll all be there and you'll see it and you'll hear it. Now, the release timing feels awkward as well. It's summer basketball energy. It's not the same as the hype of doing it at the beginning of the season, because right now we're getting ready to crown a new NBA Finals champion. And I feel like this game should have went out before 2K went out, and maybe some updates coming into the postseason. So that's just me. But whatever. The gameplay is fast, but it also feels repetitive. And if you don't have the right loop, you're watching the numbers on Steam and whatever is rated, these numbers drop, and then before you know it, this is a game that people aren't talking about. We've seen games go from zero to hero and vice versa much faster since COVID. You have Helldivers, that was the hottest thing ever, and now they're having issues. You've watched Destiny 2 and Division, they're having issues. So you're just watching games where, like us, the buyers, the shoppers, the people who are spending the money, our view is changing, and it changes quick. And I don't know if this game has the loop that's going to be able to get people. The lack of depth in the moves and the combos. And what I mean by that is, and I'm more of a defensive player, so any highlights you see, I don't care for the ball. My favorite players were the players that just did their job. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of a center, get the rebounds, kick it back out, block, do what I have to do, take my shots if they're given, but that's just me. The lack of depth in moves and combos. Yes, there's crossovers and other moves that are in the game. Yes. And you can unlock that stuff. Yes, but you shouldn't have to unlock the style of play early on, even in a beta. I'm not saying the game's got to bite street necessarily, and you see at the bottom of the screen the combos, but there should be something more than what feels like buttons or move sets that I probably would have seen on Super NES or Nintendo 64 or Sega Saturn or maybe PlayStation 2. Okay, just being honest. Now the visual style and the soundtrack, they don't leave much of an impression. Now I get the soundtrack, we don't get a chance to hear it all. We're probably spoiled by 2K, we're spoiled by EA, we're spoiled by some of these other titles like Rockstar will go ahead and do, certain things like, oh wow, that's a full-on radio station of licensed music. So we'll get a chance to see it. Now the look of the game, I'm not necessarily against it. We'll see. But like I said, I think it goes into the whole idea of this game being $30. You can have a certain look, but you have to have a certain loop of gameplay to keep people there. I honestly, this could have looked like an anime, like straight up anime graphics. And if the loop of gameplay is there, I don't think anyone cares what the game looks like, honestly. And then that's just my opinion. So you could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here watching me play some horrible basketball, trying to play some defense that felt non-existent. Like as soon as you run down and you want to play, it's not that I want to play a realistic tone. There's a lag in it, and it could be just me. It shows the ping and everything like that. But I'm just trying to get in position. You can't because no one's really watching. Whatever. You don't have the sweet spot that you see a lot of times in gacha games is a sound, right? When you release the ball and it's a perfect shot, there's a sound. The most you get visually is like the little circle under your feet that lights up to let you know if you're close to wherever you're at. But for whatever reason, you don't get that sound effect. And when you hit a shot and it flames up, you don't know what you did. You don't know what you did to get that shot to do whatever it had to do. Like, it's 100% going in if it's on fire. You unlock your special ability, right? And it doesn't really tell you anything more than you just assume, like, well, I guess I can shoot a little further from now. It doesn't give you any different dunks or anything like that. And there's some dunks, like the 3D looking one where you're like triple color, you can't really block it. Like, you just look at it, the person's lit up on fire. It's like, you can't, some of these, like that dunk right there, you can't stop that dunk as of right now, at least in the version that we saw. And there were some moves that were just being spammed. Look at that. There were times that I was watching people who had the rating of like great handles. They were juking themselves. They were breaking their own ankles. They were dropping their own stuff. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Or they would go to the rim, bomb, and they're trying to dunk it. And they're a big guy, and the little guy will floor them and drop them, And it just, like I said, it was just echoes of NBA jams, and there's nothing wrong with it at all. But these are some of the things I thought that I noticed when I played the game. Put in the comments, what did you see? Maybe things you didn't really like in the game. And again, I'm not against the game. I'll talk about the positives and the negatives. I have money, and it's not a lot. And so I can't go in here and tell people, hey, go buy this. I'm not sponsored. I have nothing to gain. This is just my opinion. And I believe there's someone out there who's casual, who's got a job, got a family, don't have time to play a bunch of games. They're trying to make sure they find the right game. And I think that's why a lot of people want to play betas and they want to do the testings. And I wish we went back to demos. Damn, Mitchell just got floored right there. But it's honestly not to be like, oh, I'm a content creator and I get to make content. No, it's not that. I want to try out the fucking game to see if I'm going to spend money on it. And I promise you that when you have a game that people like, and they're excited for it, they're going to spend money and they're going to tell people, check you out. So like I said, I hope everything works out. I hope the next run that we get that's coming up soon, we get a chance to test this game and I come back and talk about it and say, hey, they tweaked a lot of this stuff. And in the summer they kill it and they're making money, they're making people happy, and they're talking about these new updates and stuff that's coming out. But I feel like there's some gacha games that do sports, including basketball, that check the boxes when it comes to the look and the loop, and those are free. You could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here. Until next time.